Welcome everyone to another edition of the Inspirational Business Women Show. My name is Virginia Parsons. I'm your Hangout mentor and the host of the show. And I'm pleased to have you here today. You know, it is always my intention and my purpose to provide you, the viewer, with a goldmine of entrepreneurial tips, strategies, and advice to grow your business from inspirational business women in the know. And I have a wonderful person here today to do just that for you. Her name is Kristin Drysdale, but before I introduce you to her, just have to get a little business out of the way, and that is that this show is sponsored by hangoutmentor.com, where you can receive a free Hangout marketing assessment that's going to measure your skill set and your knowledge base in using Hangouts on air so that you can brand, grow, and market your business. So if you'd like to take advantage of that assessment, it's really easy and it only takes you less than 5 minutes. All you have to do is pick up your phone and text the word success, SUCCESS, to 307-269-2040. And when you take that assessment, you're going to receive lots of good guidance and information about how to do Hangouts effectively to grow your business. You might even qualify for a free strategy session with me, and I would love to talk to you about your business, about growing your business, and branding and marketing yourself in a way that helps you shine and reach new heights of visibility, social influence, and success. So take me up on that, won't you? It'll only take just a couple of minutes. All right, now what I'd like to do is to introduce you to Kristin. Kristin Drysdale is a media relations strategist and ultimately a connector. And you know, we're going to be talking about digital intimacy today and how to deepen our social connectivity in business. You know, what she really believes in, and I'll let her give you all the scoop on it, but is the power of social media to deepen our relationships and extend kindness as the new standard of business. And I love this whole concept of extending kindness and deepening our relationships in our business, because that's what makes our businesses authentic. That's what makes our businesses shine. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh,
now,
totally.
Just a second, what I'd like to have you understand is that we want you to be part of this show. So I'd like you to just go ahead and type in the comment section who you are, where you're hanging out from, and maybe a little bit about your passion, because I want this to be a collaborative of inspired women and men entrepreneurs, our brothers and sisters all coming together to get to know each other, to share our expertise, and to inspire and uplift each other. So don't be shy. Go ahead and type in the comment section and let us know all about you. Also, after the show, we're going to have a brief time with Kristin. She has to get on another show. This is a busy lady, but you are going to have a chance to come into the after show for a few minutes. Say hi to Kristin and me. I love getting to know you, so please hang around and jump in the after show. We'll be posting that in just a moment. All right, without further ado, Kristin, come on in and say hi to our audience.
Hi, everybody. Well, I'm watching the comments rolling in. I have all my friends, all of our friends. It's so wonderful to be in this environment where there's so much support. Everyone's just so willing to just come in there and just be behind someone and get to know each other's stories. And I just love that. I love every single one of these people that I'm watching here with us today.
Thank you. And we're going to do some call outs for you in a few minutes. So you're going to hear your name if you're writing a comment in there. So do that. You know, the show is always a little bit delayed. So as you're starting to come in and get your comments going, I know that you're catching our encouragement to get involved and to start socializing right here in the comment stream. We really want you to do that. Now, Kristin, as we get started with this, I think it's really important for people to understand the whole Kristin. There's lots to you. First of all, I learned you have 6 children. Wow, that's a career in itself, a major one, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. But, you know, it's really because of them that I'm here in the first place. We had some domestic violence that came out of, you know, my ex. He had undiagnosed schizophrenia, and we've been through quite a lot, and the reason why I'm here at all is because I decided that I'm going to be an advocate, and I'm going to do everything in my power to help people who were like I was, stuck prisoner at home, not being able to reach out anywhere. I want to help those people and give them a voice and make sure that what happened to us never happens to anyone else again. It's a lofty goal, but I can do what I can do.
Oh, that's just beautiful and inspiring as well, because there are people who are in similar situations to what you are in, and it's nice that you are giving a voice to that and also, in a way, connecting. And what a brilliant method of doing connecting, isn't it, on the internet in a way that can get your message out, get your story out, and let other people know that they're not alone in the world. I love
Definitely.
that.
Thank you.
So how did you go from using social media in that way, and the stories that we know are very powerful, aren't they? People's stories really help with the connection. So do you have more about your story you'd like to share that has to do with how you came from that situation into what you're doing today?
Sure. Yeah. So I think quite a few people maybe have heard this because I love talking about it. It's one of my most favorite things. I went from, you know, my situation to graduating from domestic violence shelters into homeless shelter, and then I graduated again into like normal living situation, and I decided I would go back to school and continue on with my degrees. And this time I went for social transformation, and from there I just decided, okay, so I'm going to do this degree. How am I going to do it? I have no car. So someone suggested online, and I really had no experience with computer except for like a word processor program to write papers. It had been that long since I had had any kind of pull into society. And someone just said, hey, why don't you do this online? So I looked into that, got in, and then I was like, okay, well, what do I do? After I got my computer, I was like, what do I do with this? And so I started looking up YouTube videos after someone had clued me in and said, there's this thing called YouTube. And one of the first videos I came across was Jason T. Weiser. And so I watched that, and it was amazing. Once I followed his links, and I saw that he was a missionary, that he and his wife were missionaries, and I just had to write him back and be like, wow, this is so cool. I feel like I'm just led here. My dad was a minister. This just all feels right. You know, I was so scared to come into this web space that I know nothing about, and I get led to you first thing. And that was just, I mean, it really just felt so inspired, and like I really was led. And
there's no accidents, really, do you think?
Oh no, no accident, no way. When you do things with purpose, I think you'll get that back. So about 2 weeks later, Jason started On Track Tips, and he invited me to come, and he was like, well, if you're gonna be here, you might as well come on to Google Plus. And I was like, what's that? And I was sold ever since. So I literally didn't start with any other social media. It was boom, 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 right into G Plus, and that's my home. This is my home.
Well, it's a great home to be in. I think those of us who are G Plus converts, which is what I am, realize that to me, there's no place like home. Every time I end up on the other ones, which I do, I think all social media platforms have their place. Not to criticize them, but just like you, I felt connections like I'd never felt on the other social media sites. And I just don't think you can say enough about the power of that, because in my case, I now know people from around the world, and I've never met them, but I feel like I know them, because you can have what we call these rather intimate connections using Hangouts, using the posting that Google Plus has. So for me, it's like I just keep making more and more friends and love it, whereas on some of the other ones, I will meet people, but the friendships aren't evolving in the same way. How do you feel about that?
Oh yeah, that totally resonates, and I love that you brought up the whole global aspect. One of my best friends, Rotimi, he's in Nigeria, and the very first time we had a hangout was just 2 days ago, and it was like such an honor to get that connection, and he is such a beautiful, shining soul. He shared with me this story of this woman being beaten, and there's no conclusiveness as to where this beating took place, but we're together trying to figure it out, and so we're like on the case, from other sides of the world. We're working together. So that's just one story that is a powerful representative of the amazing things that we can do with this. Yeah.
So you're actually working on a case together.
Well, I call it a case. Yeah,
yeah, it is a case. So it really is
a social media case.
No, that's a whole nother side of business I never thought about, and that is doing cases and connecting with one another to find the solutions, find the answers. I love that.
Yeah.
Good on you.
I'm working on connecting him with some of the other people that I know, and he's connected me with other people that he knows, and that have to do with business. It's just where you connect with the heart, it just opens up so many doors. I can't speak enough about being open, letting yourself be vulnerable, to letting people know your desires, where your heart is, what causes you support. And it's amazing how many people will be like, wow, I do too. That is so awesome. And things just start opening up. I really feel that there is a conduit to goodness that is there and present, and when we are open to it, it presents itself.
Beautiful. So you all got that conduit to goodness. And, I like to sort of throw out what I'm picking up while I'm listening to my guests, and in Kristin's case, conduit to goodness, kindness, deepening connections. One of your quotes that I just love is, life is too short for shallow relationships. Instead, let's go deep. So share with us a little bit, before we get into the hashtag topic, share with us a little bit about what it is that you do to really go deep in these relationships that you're building on Google Plus and in other social areas, but I know it's predominantly Google Plus.
Yeah. Well, basically, I think we covered quite a bit of it. I really am interested. One of the things I love about Mia Boss is that she gets to know so many people, and she's one of the first people that I really started following, like so many of us, I think. So many of us can identify with that. But I really started following her and watched what she was doing. She's a mentor to me. I was really affected by the way that she is able to just totally get excited about people and their interests. And it is all sincere. She really, really does love people. And maybe because I'm drawn to that because I love people as well. So that resonates with me. But just the way that she asks people, I think that is such a great template for how we can deepen our relationships and our connectivity. Just ask people questions, and there's just nothing more flattering, more that will just open you up to have someone ask you, what are you into? Oh, I'll tell you, and people just start talking, and it's amazing what could come out of it.
Well, and that's what I'm wanting to do with this show as well, is just discover more people. I think people are fascinating, and I think we all have special gifts and talents and life experiences that are powerful and need to be shared. So I love this platform for that very reason, that it is a way for people to get their stories out, to let people know what their passions are, and to share inspirations. So yeah, Mia's just great, and you're saying then, be inquisitive, always be interested, and not shallow, as you say, genuinely interested in what the other person's experiences are in life. And obviously you've had some really major ones that have sort of pushed you into an area you had no idea that you would be going into, and that would be online, working online to get the word out and to connect with people. So brilliant. And then your first connection is with a missionary. I think that's just amazing. I love it. Well, let's take a moment and say hi. As a few call outs here to some people that we know. We've got Candy, I don't know if I'm going to pronounce these well, so I apologize in advance. Javier Sakai, I hope that's correct. And let's see, we've got Carmen Mandich, and we've got Roxanne Daniel, and Tanya Lumiere, and let's see, Jeremy Murphy, Karen Chin. Great to see all of you here. Thank you so much. Roland Takoita.
Takoka. I have to say it like that because that's how Elaine says it, and like it sticks in my head.
Well, all of you, and if I've missed some of you, I apologize. We just want to thank you all for being here today. And I think just going to give a quick call out here as well of one of our comments that we have, and this is from Candy, and she's just using the hashtags connection, sharing, engaging is the most influential factors that we're all here for. Yeah, and Roxanne, oh, bless you, Roxanne, namaste. Absolutely. Well, let's go into the topic of hashtags and how that relates to deepening relationships. I know you've got a lot to share on this one, so go for it.
Oh, boy. Oh, it's so funny. Like, I was on show with Roland and Molly and Karen and I know I'm missing someone, but we were doing, our whole show was about hashtags. Duran, yep. And I was given this hashtag queen, and I'm like, no, I'm not the hashtag queen. It's Mia Voss. Mia Voss is the hashtag queen. I don't know. I think that Zara Altair started it, and people just kind of ran with it, and I'm very flattered, and it really is so kind. It's so kind. I just do my thing, and I have fun with it, and that's, I think, the number one thing. If you're not having fun with what you're doing, then go to a different technique. I have fun with hashtags, and so it seems like maybe they work for me if you're looking at audience response, right?
Absolutely.
But so I just use them there. Like there's twofold. First and foremost is the long-term use of the hashtags, because when we're here in this online space, we're thinking search. How are we going to be found, right? So we're thinking indexing, and if we're going to be indexed, then we want to have something that is representative of our entire, content, like what it is that we're putting out. How can you put a tag on this so that others will find it in the future? and you can pay attention to trending hashtags that can kind of give you a clue as to what people may look for, because a lot of people pay attention to that. And it's also just kind of the collective conscious. Seems like hot topics are universally hot. You know what I mean?
Sure,
like,
they wouldn't be hot topics.
right, exactly. And so that's what's kind of going around. And so one strategy is to take a look at that and try to build content around that, so you can tag it with something that you know people are already going to be searching for. The other technique is just be your own person. If you have something that's completely original, go with that. And that's, I think, almost the braver thing to do. It kind of slower start, probably. But if you're you and you're genuine, then that's going to be found eventually. You're going to find people of like mind, because that's just how the world works. There's only one you, but there's a lot of people that can resonate with you.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
And so
go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to go into the next one.
Well, I'm gonna pause you for a second, because I have a couple more questions about hashtags for the hashtag queen. So I'm wondering about how you use them effectively in your posting, as an example.
Yeah, okay. So that kind of goes into the next thing that I was going to talk about.
Okay.
You're going there too. Other than using hashtags like to kind of summarize my content, I also use them to kind of go further into explaining my message. Like if there's like commentary, like I'll put my content, and then if there's, it's really easy to write everything that you're going to say, but it seems like people tend to pay attention to your tags, and they're nice and bold, so already we're given that as a feature to kind of help draw your attention to it. But I use it like kind of conversationally, to add like an afterthought, or like okay, so now you've read all of this, and this is what I'm really hoping you'll get out of it, and I just wrap it up into like one little tag. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I like that. Now, do you wrap it up into a tag that's sort of below the post, or are you putting these tags into the post as well?
Yeah, I used to have them a lot more scattered throughout, and I recently played more with putting them down at the bottom. Just like with links, like a link is more effective when it's down at the bottom of your post, rather than in the middle of the content. And I have to learn more about SEO to explain why that is. I just know that it is. I've been working with SEO Dojo, which I highly recommend anyone checking SEO Dojo out, because they totally break things down to newbies, and they welcome questions. There is such a wonderful humility there with David Harry and Terry Van Horn, that they feel like if people, like, they need people like me, like anyone else who is still learning, they need us there, because if they have students, then they have things to teach. So it's kind of like a two-way street. Like, yes, the teachers, I don't know. When I first came in, like, my tendency was to kind of hold back my questions, because I didn't want to be a bother to anyone. And David was like, no, cut that thinking out. Don't think like that, because if you just keep your questions in, then we have nothing to say because we all already know everything. So we're just talking to each other, but we want to teach. That's why we're here. We want to teach. So anyone, if you if you have a question about anything to anyone, ask it. That there's no better compliment than to ask a question and to let someone share their knowledge.
Well, I think that that's particularly noticeable on Google Plus because you can post questions, and it's amazing the people who will want to be there to help you. So again, this is about a collaborative of knowledge, a collaborative experience that we can all benefit from. So yeah, asking questions is certainly a way to deepen our connections and our relationships. What about owning a hashtag? What do you know about that?
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. There is this platform, and I'm going to have to chase down the link. I made a post on it not too long ago, and I can't remember the site that it is right now, so I'll have to put that in afterwards.
Twubs, T-W-B-S,
yes.
yeah. Twubs. Yeah. And I only know that because I registered Hangout Mentor on Twubs.
Very good, and I got my Snowden Snow Bunny.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I have to give big props to Karen Chin, because I believe that she is the one that taught us about that. You can actually register your hashtag, and it is really cool. So since you did that, sounds like pretty recently, like what was your experience with that?
Well, and I did it because of your post. See how beautiful that is? See how the world goes around? And I thought, oh, isn't this fun? I've been using, Hangout Mentor for a long time now, and I thought, well, I might as well just register it and it pops, and now on Twubs I have a Twubs website. I don't know what to do with it all yet. They're sending me emails, giving me coaching. So again, the information is out there, but I just thought it was fascinating that you could register a hashtag. So I have to register, pound IWBS, Inspirational Business Women Show, BWS. I need to get the order right. But I thought that was kind of fun and interesting, and once you do that, it's yours. So
and I have to say that make sure before you decide on a hashtag, make sure you run it through the different platforms, because we had a situation with Lend a Hand. At first it was Lend a Hand, and then we had to make it the same across all platforms and everywhere, that we are now hashtag Lend One Hand, because we had, the Twitter thing, the Twitter feed going on our website, and all of a sudden I was in there just checking it out because I was going to write a post, and then I had to let Aaron Seagal know, like, right away. I was like, we need to do something about this, because Lend a Hand seems to be pulling up other stuff from other people. It was like naughty. And we don't want that associated with. So make sure that before you decide on a hashtag, that you run it through everything, and that you're okay with the stuff that's coming up and associating with it.
Makes perfect sense. We never know what could be associated. Good job. So we'll check that out. I'll have to go back and check Hangout Mentor out and see. I don't know what it lends itself to that, but yeah, we'll check it out. So, do you have anything more you want to share about hashtags before we move on to the next topic?
No, let's move on.
Okay. Before we do, let me say hi to a few more people. Here, I love Tanya's comment here. Do things with purpose. Kristin Drysdale, absolutely, do things with purpose. And Roxana saying partnerships are pivotal in any business. And yes, the thing I love about partnerships is that they bring out the best in everyone. You don't end up with it. We'll get that up. There we go. And oops, don't mean to bring that one up, so we'll just hide that one there. Hi, everyone. I'm still figuring out how to use the comment tracker. It's sort of like when you're doing Hangouts, which is our next topic. There's a lot of balls to juggle in the air at once, and then give the guest your undivided attention, which is, I just think, so important to help you feel comfortable and at ease, and help you better share, your incredible knowledge with everyone. So, how did you get started doing Hangouts, and what do you think is great about them? I'm already passionate about it, but let's hear your point of view on Hangouts.
Okay. Well, I think the very first person that ever messaged me at all on Hangouts, and then so all of a sudden something popped up on my screen and I was like, what is this? Was Eli Fennell. And interestingly enough, he's going to be on our network roundtable later today. And so that's going to be kind of fun. Yeah, he messaged me, and then that's how I discovered that there's this thing that can pop up on your screen. And gosh, from there, just the more you hang around, the more you learn about different tools. The very first Hangout that I was ever on, like in video, was with Mia Voss and Lena Bate Johnson. We were doing the red carpet awards for the Academy Awards a couple years ago. And gosh, I didn't even know like how to use my computer's camera or anything. I had a friend like just hook it up for me, and he was great with doing that, and that was a lot of fun. And actually, there was a screenshot that he took during that Hangout, and that was his Twitter profile picture for a long time. It was just a little tidbit. It's kind of funny, but just from there, then I think Chef Dennis Litley was like, oh, she does Hangouts. And of course I had been, super active in the comment streams of different stuff. And so he was like, I want to get you on. And so I came on with him, and I got to meet Wayne Metter and Scott Scowcroft. Oh my gosh, I geeked out so much over that, because it's funny. I think before you ever get on to Hangouts, or at least before I ever got on to Hangouts, I was geeking out on like the possibility ever, like what if I were ever to go on a Hangout? And so like I thought, who would I want to be on with? And I just knew the first person that I wanted to go on at a show and like have an interview with, or just talk with, ask questions, with Scott Scowcroft. And so for Chef Dennis to like put that all together, it was just like, and it was totally like, I didn't tell him, it was just Chef has such an intuitive way about him, but it was really, really super cool. And let's see, there was Lady Laddie as well. What did I learn?
Yeah. What was the question that you wanted to ask him? Do you remember?
Oh, I don't know. I think I just wanted to sit at his feet and listen to him tell his stories. Because he was in public broadcasting before. Okay. And I was very, my parents very liberal Democrats, and I grew up on PBS, and so it's just, I already have that admiration, and for him to like go from there to using Google Hangouts, I just wanted to ask him why, like why, how, and can I do it too, sort of thing.
Oh, that's great. So do you have any tips yourself about organizing and broadcasting?
Oh, yeah. I would say ask around. If you have the desire to do this, then get on and do it privately first. Get used to it. Even if you're just doing it by yourself, exploring the tool, you can make sure that your Hangouts are going to YouTube, but only shared either privately, with yourself, or unlisted. But just get in there, get your hands dirty, and do it. Because the more you do it, the more comfortable you're going to be, and the more relationships you can forge.
Absolutely. And my big tip for everyone to add to that is, get in there and play with it, because you can't break it. Sometimes it seems like you do, but it can be a little crazy once in a while. But really practice with the camera. I mean, if you get connected to the camera and you start thinking of the camera as your friend, and you get really comfortable looking at the camera, realizing you're connecting with your audience that way, I think that's going to be the biggest tip I can give you. Fall in love with your camera. And that's not easy, especially for we ladies who, are worried if our hair is perfect, and, if we've got the makeup on and we're looking good that day, we have a good hair day, whatever. Forget it. Just fall in love with the camera, and people will fall in love with you because you're connecting through, that is sort of your connection to them and to the soul. So that's the way I think of it anyway. So I hope that's helpful to everyone.
Definitely. And lighting is so key. Make sure your lighting is frontal. if it's from behind, it's going to cast weird shadows. And the better lighter, the better lighting that you have, the less work you're going to put on your processor. And so you just want to make sure that you're making it as simple for your computer processor as possible.
Oh yeah, shut down everything you're not using.
Yeah.
All those programs running in the background, shut them down unless you have a mega computer with lots and lots of memory. So yeah, there's lots more tips we could give there, but we're running out of time, and you have another broadcast. So let's take a moment though to talk about what I think is such an important topic, and it sounds simple, and yet I think it's profound when you really think about connecting from the heart. So I'm going to let you just take it away from there and share your philosophy and the way you do it.
Okay. Let's see. How do we connect with the heart? First of all, I think you need to find the hearts that are receptive. This might sound a little bit cruel, but don't waste your time on the people who are not receptive. There are so many people out there who are searching for someone to connect with them. And I don't look at numbers. I have a ton of people that I consider some of my best friends and the most valuable people that have under 100 followers. But they're there, and they're searching as well as I'm searching, and we find connection through each other because we have a need. So find a need, see if you can fill it, and be helpful. Share your knowledge, share anything that you learn. Even if you think it's obvious, it's not going to be obvious to everyone. You can be a hero to one person at a time and have amazing conversation. And that's another thing that I want to bring into it is conversation. It's not about just blasting out your message, even though there are times where you just want to do that because you're on a campaign or whatever. But you have to slow down in order to let the conversation happen, because that's where the magic is.
Slow down and let the conversation happen. And you know, talking about just asking how you can help. Do you know how that's just such a beautiful phrase in itself? How can I help you? And be sincere about it, obviously, but that is coming from a place of love and caring. So my heart is touched just by having you talk about this, because I don't think we talk about it enough. I think that many people have the intention for it. I really wouldn't ever deny that. But talking about it and saying, yes, we need to slow down, listen, ask questions, and the questions coming from how can I help you? How can I be of greatest service? I think are, they warm my soul. And I just love that you wanted to make this one of your topics today, Kristin. I really appreciate that. Let's give a couple call-outs before we say goodbye and open up the after show. Roxanne Daniel, here she is. It is all so amazing. I grew up in a generation of baby boomers that didn't have so much information available so quickly. Oh, yes. Yeah, the world is our oyster as far as finding out about things. It's all there for you. You just Google it, right? And this is your dear friend Rotimi. I'm pronouncing that correctly. There's only one you, but there are lots of people who would resonate with you. I think that's a great quote as well, Rotimi, and he got it right, don't you think, Kristin?
Rotimi, that is so amazing, because he has to run his internet on generator. Like, their internet is not that great in that part of the world, and the part of our world, because it's our world. It's not their world, it's our world. So I'm gonna like cry right now, Rotimi, that you're here. Thank you.
Yeah, he joined us, and I didn't think about the fact he would be joining on a generator. So see how we learn and we connect, and now a great appreciation for Rotimi and what you're doing to join us today. Thank you for being here. Thank you, everyone, for being here. This has just warmed my soul to have Kristin on the show. She has so much to share with all of you, and I know that her network is going to continue to grow, and your network is going to continue to grow just by taking the time to connect, slowing down, asking questions, and genuinely caring about other people. It is ultimately all about love and kindness, isn't it, Kristin?
Definitely. One hand at a time, one head up and one hand down.
Yeah,
Bringing
well, talk
everyone
about
with
that
you.
before we go, because I think you might like to send people there for more information, wouldn't you?
Oh, sure. Okay, so my great love right now is Lend One Hand. And it's a movement that was started out of a conversation between Chris Jenkins and Aaron. And they just were like, okay, so we've done all this work. We have, these talents, what are we going to do with it? And they really have such a passion for nonprofits. And though we want to highlight any kind of kindness, there is a great desire on all of our parts. Tony Holder is another person that's in there. She and Aaron are sweethearts, and they are just the neatest couple. And I just have to put a word out for them right now too. That with all the talk about people online and relationships breaking up, they just seem to get stronger, and they're such a powerful example of what you can do when you're unified with your partner. They're amazing and do amazing things in their communities. They're both moderators of different communities and just so helpful, and they epitomize what it means to be open to helpfulness and kindness to me. There's never been one moment where I had a question where they weren't like, okay, let's figure this out. Just amazing people. And Chris Jenkins has so much going on. Like wow, just so knowledgeable. And we're really hoping to make it so that it's possible for more nonprofits, more people who don't have necessarily the resources to become the 501(c), so that they can become that, and they can do the good work that they're wanting to do. So Lend One Hand it's a movement, I would say. The whole mindset is crowdsourcing kindness, and that by small acts of kindness we can do great things.
Wonderful. So that's Lend One Hand, and is it .org or .com?
Both.
Oh,
we own
both. Lend One Hand. So make sure that you check that out. I think it sounds like just a brilliant, inspired idea for helping uplift one another. Love it. Love you, Kristin. I really want to thank you for being here today. And I want to thank all of you, the viewers, for being here and being so interactive. I really love it. I hope you'll come on in and join us in the after show. And until next week, we'll see you on the Inspirational Business Women show. Thanks so much for joining us today. Bye-bye now.